must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Fellow Africans, I took this petition to the court in order to stop any future usage of falsehood and false documents, procured witnesses of the Waki Commission. I took this petition to the court 4 years ago in order to make sure that the Chief Prosecutor of International Criminal Court does not use this evidence anytime in the future, whether tomorrow or 10 years to come, to refer to this evidence because the evidence was fake. It is with this dismay and with this courage that I took to go to court in Kenya to seek a judicial review and to redeem the credibility of both those accused and the victims of this catastrophe that occurred in Kenya, that I decided to seek to expunge this report from the reports and the statute books of Kenya. It is unfortunate that the 3 judges in Kenya, whom I will name now, Judge Kanyi Kimondo, Judge Aburil, and Judge Onyengo, all of them sat down and gave very silly, flimsy, prudish, sardonic ruling against our petition. I want to tell the Kenyans that I have done my best. I want to be on record that should this thing reappear again, don't call me. Should it reappear again, don't say I never told you. Should the Chief Prosecutor of the International Criminal Court use this fake evidence again against Kenyans, don't say I did not tell you. My role was to go and remove these obnoxious toxins from the books of the Republic of Kenya. I therefore want to tell the world that my torrid road, a long road that I've taken in search for this envelope, has ended in Kenya so far. But I want to announce that Kenya is not the only state party in international law. Kenya is not the only state party. I will in the future, very soon, detail to you which other state party I'm going to seek this envelope to be expunged and to be made public to the people of the world. I want to thank you all. I want to tell you that a detailed document which is entitled My Long Road, Torrid Road to Work Envelope will be found on www.panafricanforumltd.com. You can read it, you can dissect, you can see the days, the long road, what I took, what I did, referenced, well documented, and may God help you that at one time somebody in Kenya will stand up to say thank you very much.
Good morning and thank you for joining us today. My name is Miriam Ogutu and the show is Good Morning Africa. The television station, of course, is Punchline Africa TV, and we are coming to you from Nairobi, Kenya's capital here in Nairobi. A beautiful morning it is, so I hope your day has started off well. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're tuned in today, because we have to appreciate we have viewers from across board who right now we are at different timelines. So on today's show, I'm joined by Douglas Kirimi from Meru. Douglas, good morning.
Good morning, Miriam. Good morning, Javan. Good morning, Aaron Goko. Good morning, Sean, and all our viewers across the world. And also, good morning to Professor Nyari.
All right, very well. And we are also joined by Daniel Wesonga from Nairobi. Daniel, good morning. Daniel, good morning. Oh, well. Daniel still fixing his signal there. But Jevan Karanja is joining us from Nanyuki. Jevan, good morning.
Good morning, Miriam. Good morning to my fellow panelists, Douglas, Irungu, Wesonga, and Professor Jared Onyari. And good morning to you, Miriam, and our viewers wherever they're watching us from.
Okay, very well. And today we are joined by another guest, a panelist, in the name of Mr. Irungu Goko. Irungu, a very good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Good morning to Punchline team. It's a good morning, and I'm glad to be here. And I hope we will enjoy good work you guys are doing. Give my accolades to Dr. Matsanga and the team at the studio.
Thank you so much.
Good morning.
And it is a pleasure to have you this morning. So usually on the show we start with the headlines before we get to our topic of the day. And the headlines in the leading newspapers this morning, the Daily Nation, the Star, and the Standard newspaper, they all have this story in relations to post-election violence, which also forms our topic of discussion today. So we shall just start tackling it as we continue there. So we start with the Daily Nation, a storm over Kinoti probe turning old stones. It has been 12 years since the post-election violence of 2008. Kenya has moved on, but it has not forgotten. Now the DCI is starting fresh investigations and opening fresh wounds. How would you respond to that headline there by the Daily Nation and how they've been able to capture that story? And perhaps I'll start with you, Mr. Irungu Goko, since you're our guest.
Thanks a lot. Let me say, violence has no expiry date. And when we talk about reconciliation as a nation, we cannot reconcile if there's one person who feel that they still deserve to get justice. Number two, as a nation that is still having the baby steps in democracy, we cannot let the political class influence what we call the social justice. If I, Irongo, feel that Douglas owes me a judicial process or a judicial justice, if I feel this government is letting me down for not giving me my constitutional rights, then we are failing as a nation. As much as we may want to let go, we cannot bury violence under the pillow and sit down and assume that it's over. When you look at the history of election violence in Kenya, since 1992, when we had the first political violence, it has come to 1992, 1997, 2007. Then it moved from the inter-tribe political clashes to intra-tribe political clashes. We have seen violence within areas, within a small, the last one was witnessed in Keno, in Murang'a. It was not Luo versus Kikuyu or Kalenjin versus Masai, or let's say Namijikenda versus Kamba. It was Kikuyu versus Kikuyu. So as we think about the 2007-2008 post-election as it was, we must also ask ourselves, has it stopped? What will happen when tomorrow Uhuru and Ruto will not be on the same ballot paper? What will happen tomorrow when Raila and Uhuru will not be having a handshake? Have we solved this thing to conclusion, or are we just holding it on until the next, until the next election, when two communities will not be agreeing? What example have we set, or what precedents have we set so far that is giving young youths across the country energy, power, and courage to fight each other? We saw the BBI rally in Garissa, it was chaotic. We saw the BBI rally in Meru, it was a bit chaotic. We've seen it in Marago, we saw it in Nyeri when the DP went to Nyeri for a church function. People are fighting each other because the political impunity, and I hope that's what the DCI and government is trying to kill. We have to kill political impunity when it comes to violence. Let everyone know that no matter who you are, as long as you participate in violence, no matter how long it will take, justice will still catch up with you. If we set up that agenda today, moving forward, everybody will know whether you're on the good side of history, whether you're on the wrong side of politics. One day, one time, justice will catch up with you. I was reading this morning that it took 26 years for Rwanda to arrest Petition. So it doesn't matter how long it will take. What matters is every Kenyan should know, if you participate in any form of violence, social, criminal, political, one day, one time, justice will catch up with you. And if Kinoti and the DCI achieves that with what they are doing today, I can guarantee you, it doesn't matter who will be vying, where they will be vying, with which political party they will be vying, everybody will know that we, as a nation, has a political space, has a political justice that cannot be messed by anyone. If you look at the party nominations today, they are always violent. Is it ODM? Is it Jubilee? Is it TNA? Is it Wiper? They are already, they're always violent. That violent spirit, or that thought that I can be violent, I can scare away my opponent voters, they run away from the polling station, then I bring in empty boxes, or I come in and rig, and nothing will happen to me or my supporters, is what I hope the DCI is, is working on. Because as much as we may not make headlines, when a nomination for violence goes off, the fact of the matter is that life that was lost matters. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Very well said there, Mr. Irungu Goko, this morning, because when I'm reading this headline this morning here on the Daily Nation, when they're saying now the DCI is starting fresh investigations and opening the fresh wounds. Fresh wounds, yes. The Kenyans who suffered then and who has been suffering since 1992 and all that, who have never healed. And so shall we continue sweeping this matter under the rug because President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, or with the Deputy President William Ruto or other political leaders, have come together and agreed to work together? Have that solved the problem and the heart and the injustice that a lot of Kenyans have gone through all these years? And Javan Akaranja, is there an expiry date to justice?
Miriam, I'm quite in agreement with our guest Irungu that justice has no expiry date. Miriam, if you will remember this, the Mau Mau fighters, they had a case during it was around before the 2017 general election, and they were suing the British government for the wrongs that were done in this country when they were fighting for the independence. the property that was destroyed, the lives that was lost, and they were suing the British government for compensation. And it has been decades, Miriam. Therefore, 13 years compared even to that scenario that I'm giving is a short period of time, Miriam, because this was in the early and the late 1950s, but they were suing it even in this 21st century. Therefore, Miriam, is to say that justice, Miriam, it can be even sought by generations that will come, because Miriam, they know and they read the history of what happened and transpired in those particular times and moments.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, Miriam, what happened in 2013 is something that is quite fresh in our minds. Miriam, when you go to Kiambaa Church, it has never been rebuilt. And when people walk around that, the memories of what happened, it injects those memories and they start thinking, and some have even a very candid message and images of what was happening. And yesterday I was reading and I saw a woman who was giving a testimony of what really happened there. And Miriam, you could see he is remembering as if it's something that was happening yesterday. To some point, they even get emotional and they start shedding tears, Miriam, meaning those people have not healed. And we cannot say that because DCI have come at this moment, at this time, that he is opening the old wounds, Miriam. Miriam, you know, even when you have a physical wound in your body or in your leg or hand, when you go to the hospital, if it has never healed, if it's not well healed and it have stopped oozing blood, what the doctor does is he opens the wound again and he starts even applying more strict medicine. And Miriam, the pain is quite severe. And at the end of the day, Miriam, you heal and you heal completely because all the other things that was not well, they are removed with them and you get the healing. Miriam, that is what the DCI is doing. Mm-hmm. Now we want to heal permanently, Miriam. What we have, Miriam, we have healed partially. Now what the DCI is coming to do is to bring a permanent solution to the victims of 2207, 1992, and those people who suffered, and also serving a warning to those who might be planning to repeat or have a replica of what happened in 2007 in the coming general elections, especially in the 2022. Mm-hmm. And Miriam, we have seen a lot of things happening in this country, where some leaders are profiling other communities, where some leaders are bringing chaos. Miriam, what happened in Muranga was a sad moment even for the entire Mount Kenya region, because that was a brother versus a brother. People who come from the same locality, Miriam, fighting because of political intolerance. And this was as a result of incitement that came with those political leaders around Muranga. Miriam, that is not good, and Kenoti should not desist. He should continue soldiering on. He should not listen to the evil voice, because they will come. Enemies will say what they want to say. Mm-hmm. Miriam, at the end of the day, we want justice delivered, Miriam. Mm-hmm. And yesterday, Oscar Sudi was saying something. And Miriam, we cannot talk of justice and healing when somebody is owning a land that belongs to somebody who was displaced. When somebody is milking someone's cow that he has stolen during that violence, let people heal, let people recover, and let property be taken back. That is the beginning point of reconciliation and a peaceful coexistence in communities. Right. Thank you, Miriam.
All right, very well. Thank you so much. So the story is on page 4 of the Daily Nation. Part of it says Deputy President William Ruto and his allies yesterday rubbished the new investigations as being politically motivated, as Mr. Kinoti said no case that had gone through the judicial process will be reopened. At a press briefing on Monday, the DCI paraded people whom he said had recorded statements on threats related to the 2022 succession politics. These are the same people who suffered in 2007, and these are the same people who perhaps suffered even in 1992, and now they're already feeling their lives are being threatened. Before you even get to 2022, they're already feeling the threats are being directed towards them right now where they are there in parts of Rift Valley, and so eliciting strong reactions from the DP's allies who claim the move is aimed at scuttling the DP's chances of making a stab at the presidency. So some Kenyans somewhere are worried about their lives. Some Kenyans somewhere cannot sleep at night. They fear somebody will come harm them. And you're sitting here thinking this is about succession politics. Can we worry? I mean, do we have our priorities misplaced? Daniel. Douglas.
Thank you, Miriam. You see, in this country, what we are dealing today with is street credibility for peace. What we are dealing with today in this country is street credibility for peaceful coexistence. What we are dealing with today is street credibility for our well-being for our welfare as Kenyans. Why am I calling it street credibility? It is street credibility because one, we have not served justice to those people that suffered in 2007, 2008. We have not returned their properties. There are people that are milking cows, as Karanja was saying, belonging to people in 2007. What we are dealing with today is cosmetic peace that is brought about by the handshake between Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta and Mr. Ruto back in 2012 before they were president and deputy president. What we are dealing with today is cosmetic peace among communities in terms of so long as our man is at the top, we are at peace. So long as our man is at the top, we are at peace. And Mr. Irungu Goko said something that is very profound, that we cannot premise our peace based on who the political man is. We cannot premise our well-being as a nation in terms of who is supported at which time and at what time. What we need is this. For example, my father bought a piece of land, 3 acres in 1984. When he bought this piece of land, the owner died in 2006. My father retired in 2014. Before my father retired, these people went to court and said my father had taken their land using government force. And we demanded justice from our hand. My father was a bit powerful compared to that family. So this family was crying for justice every day. They were saying my father had subverted their justice. On the other hand, my father and their family, who I belong, were saying this is our property. So we went to court for so many years until my father passed on, but the first judgment had been passed on that said that my father had bought this piece of land and there should be peace between us. And now we see each other as people who are competing for the same resource, which is scarce, but we have peace from our end and they have peace from their end. We can farm our land, we can build houses, we can do all that we want. But not until my father got justice, not until we could walk to our piece of land peacefully without being evicted, without being shot with arrows and pangas, that we were able to come to terms that this piece of land belongs to my father. The same case, after we dragged in court for so many years, not that some people didn't know that the property belonged to my father rightfully, but we had to bring an end to street credibility, where we go buy tea for each other and then tell each other, there is no problem, tomorrow I won't chase you. The next day you are threatening me to chase me from my rightful share of my father's property. This street credibility in this country should end. And the political class, I have said, I have so many copies in my house in Nairobi and also here in Meru of the drum magazine that I read often. And one of my favorite drum magazines is the drum magazine of December 1990. The Nandis and Ruos were fighting, and they were fighting instigated by their politicians. They could not fight until their politicians give the signals. The politicians that we are seeing today, I have seen one of the newspapers, the headline, the deputy president says, forget about the victims. Kenyatta is going after me. Why would the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, who sits at the National Security Council, accuse an independent institution of going after the deputy president of this nation and accusing Mr. Kenyatta of going after his 2022 presidential bid? Is your presidential bid more important than the lives and the properties of Kenyans? Is your presidential bid, is your political career important than the lives of the people that died and they are seeking justice until today? Miriam, I hope you checked what DCI and done at their headquarters. They under tens of people who were doing their statement, who are making their statement at the DCI. And these people, when you cross-examine them through the pictures and the videos that were coming from DCI, you'd get to know that these people are suffering. And they are suffering from the recklessness of our politicians, the recklessness that was done by our politicians in 1990, before I was born. The same politicians, the same different crop of politicians using the same rhetoric, who are accusing Kenyans of not maintaining peace because the politicians at the top are united. We need to stop this street credibility and take it to institutions where Kenyatta is taking it now and on. What happens if President Kenyatta dies today? Sorry to say that. What happens if William Ruto is no longer the leader of Kalenjin, who under an handshake with the president, as Mr. Irungu Koko said? What will happen when President Kenyatta leaves office? Are Kikuyus not going to be safer in Rift Valley? What happens when Mr. William Ruto is no longer the deputy president? Are Kikuyus not going to enjoy peace in Rift Valley?
Right.
We need to remove this cosmetic peace that we enjoy today in Rift Valley and other parts of the country from where it is today and take it to the institutions.
All right.
And these institutions, independent institutions like DCI, are institutions that are going to give us peace,
All right.
are going to give us long-lasting justice that we seek as the people of Kenya, the closure that the people of Rift Valley, the people of Naivasha, the people of Nyanza, the people of Northeastern, all the closure that they need is in independent institutions, is not in the hands of a particular politician. For example, if these people that took our land again after my father bought it in 1984, if they took it when my father died, if now they decided they need to wreak havoc on our family, what would have happened? We need that title deed reading my father's name, and we need to also agree that that piece of land belongs to us,
right.
whether my father is alive, who is now a man of blessed memory.
All right.
All.
Thank you, Douglas. Thank you so much. Point taken. Thank you so much, and I'll come back to you. We are joined by Professor Jared Onyari. Professor, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Miriam.
We've missed you.
Chavan, Douglas, and Irungu.
We've missed you
and
on the
our
show.
viewers from wherever they are.
Yes. All right. Karibu sana. So we're looking at the headlines, and of course, all the headlines on the major newspapers this morning is that press conference that DCI held on Monday, where he brought, post-election violence victims, not the ones with the cases that already been settled in the case, and these are people who never got an opportunity to go even to the court itself and record some of their statements there. And they came because even as we speak right now, they feel threatened. They've been receiving a lot of threats over their lives. And we've seen how our politicians have been reacting to this, especially those allied to Deputy President William Ruto there. They're saying this is a new way because the BBI is dead on arrival. So this is another scheme by the government to try to stop Ruto's presidency in 2022. And I'm just wondering if Kenyans are coming out and saying our lives are in danger, if Kenyans are coming out and saying where we are, we don't feel safe, can we not pause for 1 second and just interrogate this issue, removing all politics aside and addressing this matter? Can we not do that?
Miriam, that's one of the topics which I don't like discussing.
Me too.
One, Cain killed his brother Abel. The Bible tells us the blood of Abel is crying up to now from the ground. Miriam, there's no doubt. People were evicted from their homes. Their houses were burned. Some people even attempted to take some people's land. The case of Mutesh, the late Mutesh, is a case in the point, Miriam. It was because Mutesh was informed that he had the resources to fight it in the court. What about a poor man, Miriam? There is no doubt, Miriam, people were killed. There is no doubt, Miriam, people were burnt in a church. Even people who are physically challenged, someone who was in a wheelchair, Miriam. And until, Miriam, it doesn't take how long it takes. Peter Gama was killed in 1965. Don't we question up to now who killed him? T.M. Kariuki died in 1975. Don't we question who killed T.M. Kariuki? Robert Huko died in 1990. Don't we question who killed Robert Huko? So, Miriam, you can run, you can say all manner of the things. It is until justice is done to the people. And hear this, Miriam. This is something which will be told from generation to generation. And let me tell you, some offspring, sometime Miriam will come and they will be in power, because power does not belong to one person. And they will demand, they will open files, Miriam. We will try people whether they are in their graves, so long as we have got evidence. Miriam, there is no coincidence that the Roger Gicheru surrendered himself to Hague, and the people have started getting threats. Don't you see the connection, Miriam? We are not fools. So let the people say, let people bring politics, Miriam. It is the investigation which is being done. Let them just pray that one day I don't run and become the president of this country, because I will pursue justice of the people. Miriam, some people were evicted in 1991, 1992, 90s. They have not gone back to their lands. Miriam, we are questioning for justice. So the deputy president and his friends may run a hole, they are being targeted. It is not a must to become for the president of this country who tells him that he is entitled. President Uhuru Kenyatta is going home. The seat will remain vacant. Kenyans will offer themselves, and it's not. Watch this space, Miriam. You will not be the only one who will be contesting. There will be 1, 2, 3, 4 presidential candidates, and the people of Kenya, Miriam, will decide. And I'm happy, Miriam. People thought that the reggae stopped. Reggae is on. It was just on pause, Miriam. We will deal with the divisive politics in this country, Miriam. As Douglas was trying to say, Miriam, you need not to fear that your man is not in power. Is not a deputy president. Is not a president of this country. What will happen to the tomorrow, Miriam, who has 600 families? Don't you think they are entitled to get all the resources and to get the entitlement, Miriam? Miriam, it is the constitution which protects people. Mm-hmm. And Miriam, not my brother, because when we want to pursue and Miriam, when we want to stand for something, we never feel. What do you expect Gino to do if people have walked to his office and they want to make a statement? And you know what, Miriam? A criminal case file does not close. You can commit now and we will try you. We will wait for 10 years, we'll try you. Miriam will try you after 20 years, Miriam. So those who think the ghosts of the 2000 post-election violence itaenda wasahau, wakwengo, they will be pursued.
All right.
And they will never eat. They will never sleep properly unless they come forward and Miriam and ask for forgiveness, so that Miriam, we can be able to reconcile and we move on. It has happened. But there's a procedure, Miriam, on how you reconcile with people. You don't just wake up, you shake hand with the president of a country, and you expect that all is well. No, Miriam, justice must be given to the people. And the people want to pursue their justice, Miriam. You will never stop them.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you so much. And there's something else that our guest, Mr. Rungu Goko, mentioned there earlier, and that is what is termed as political impunity that we see happening in this country, and a very violent political process. People doing stuff knowing nobody will really, nobody will go after them, or they will circumvent the law and justice system, and sort of they'll be able to get away with that. So that is something that should be addressed. Professor, what do you think?
You want me to respond?
Yes.
Yeah, Miriam, this country is such a democratic. Haven't you seen that Irungu? Is it Itumbi? Mm-hmm. Haven't you taken the Matsanga to court saying that he might have meddled with the Ruaraka Rand? So nothing stops Irungu, stops the Javan, stops me or anybody else, Miriam, so long as I get credible information. Mm-hmm. And now they are threatening. They are threatening the DCI, or someone is pursuing them. Miriam will get that kind of evidence with witnesses, Miriam, and we will have private prosecution. And remember, Miriam, the Hague case did not close. They said if they will have enough evidence, they will reopen the case. Now Kinoti is trying to do it, and you are trying to say that it is politics and you are trying to pursue it. Miriam, what do you think? Do you think the international community, the ICC, will not come and take the witnesses, evidence from those witnesses, and they will pursue the case? If you think your government cannot pursue because you are bringing these invaders, it is because they tampered with the witnesses. If fresh witnesses, Miriam, will come, I assure you, and I bet Miriam, evidence will be taken, and the people will be taken back to it. Watch this space.
So, in Nairobi, politicians led by the DP termed the move as aimed at coercing Kenyans to accept the Building Bridges Initiative report. The provocative incitement to ethnic hate intended by the resurrection of the post-election violence is an evil attempt to resuscitate the tribe project destroyed by the Hustler movement, a realization that poverty and unemployment deliberately bred by poor leadership is our problem, not our tribes, said the DP in a tweet. What is interesting, because I was in this country when the post-election violence happened, and Professor, you and I, this is just something I really don't enjoy talking about at all. If I could avoid it, I would. But unfortunately, this is something that is quite important and was quite marked a very dark period in our life and will forever remain in the history of this country. But violence did not just happen in Eldoret alone. Violence happened in Kibra. In fact, according to Waki report, more people were killed by the police through extrajudicial killings. I think that's why the head of police then found himself at the Hague, right? And people were killed and uprooted from Kisumu. People were killed and uprooted from Naivasha. People were killed and uprooted from Nakuru and other parts of the country, at the coast, everywhere. You know, people suffered, and violence was meted against Kenyans. Why is it? What I'm just curious about is just a section of politicians who, why would they assume it's only the Eldoret case that is being pursued? When violence happened all over this country.
This. We know how all the places you have named, violence did happen. And what the law does, Miriam, the law helps the one who is awake. The law will not come to Miriam, and even if the people for Kibra or Naivasha, Miriam, they have not complained. Will the DCI will just go to invite himself? If the people of Eldoret, Miriam, have complained, they have whatever right. There are those people who can oppress and they will say, let them just forget, and they go on with their life. But here, Miriam, are the people who are threatened. Who has threatened the people of Kibra, Miriam? Who has threatened the people of Naivasha, Miriam? Who has threatened the people of Kisumu, Miriam? People feel, I have been a case, I don't know why you have seen it, Miriam. Those people did not complain last year. Those people did not complain the other year, Miriam. It is now that Royal Paul Gijeru has surrendered himself to the Hague. What was he being accused of? Meddling with the politicians, Miriam. The case is live and active in court. How comes now that the people of Kiamba have started receiving threats, Miriam? Don't you think it's someone who wants to eliminate them, Miriam? I have said the case did not close. The case is very much open, Miriam. They said if we get enough evidence, Miriam, we will sue. I have said the more they have threatened not to pursue the case, Miriam, they have beckoned ICC to their doorsteps, Miriam, and it will come.
Okay.
I guarantee you, Miriam. You know, the international laws arouse you, Miriam, that the first thing you can try it in your country. And if there's reluctance in your country to do it, ICC comes in, Miriam. I'm sure, Miriam, the way the NGOs are very active, Miriam, they are going to get these people and take them to the record statements. They have made food for some people, Miriam, here. They have made money for some people.
All right.
So what do we need to do, Miriam? Let us reconcile properly. Let us forgive each other properly. Let us not threaten people, Miriam. It happened. We cannot reverse the clock of history. Miriam. So the issue here is, Miriam, people cannot live in intimidation, Miriam. And they can pursue their cases, Miriam. So, Miriam, if you don't want to pursue your justice, can someone force you?
All right.
Nobody. So let them not connect to this Kisumu, what it is. Who has threatened the people of Kisumu? Who has threatened the people of Naivasha? Who has threatened the people of Kibra? And other places where the violence took place in 2007, 2008. So Miriam, tutoe siasa, let us be sober and let us talk to one another.
All right, thank you so much.
And let
Professor.
us listen together, Miriam. That is the only way we can build this country.
Forward.
But
Okay.
Miriam trying to say that you kill me, you threaten me, you burn my houses, you displaced me, Miriam, and then you said now I fear that I shook hands with you. It couldn't happen, Miriam. It is only temporary.
All right.
The house must be built on a rock and not on a soil. The one which is built on a soil will be swept at the fullness of time, Miriam.
Okay, very well. Thank
So
you so much.
watu watulie poro na waache mambo mengi, Miriam.
Okay, thank you so much. So, Mr. Irungu, Goko, of course, we saw the process there of the healing process that President Uhuru Kenyatta and opposition leader Raila Odinga started, the handshake that today has brought us the process of the BBI. But we know that perhaps a lot of the issues and injustices that Kenyans feel have been meted against them, one of them being the post-election violence of 2007-2008. Some of these things might not, perhaps BBI will not fully address that. It might address the causes and all that, but will not fully address the injustices that happen there. And we are talking about a united country. How would you propose, or what do you think we can do for a true, like what Professor said there, so that we're able to reconcile properly? Mr. Irungu?
A lot. Let me say this. A nation is a progressive state. So we cannot solve everything overnight. But if we make steps towards the right direction, we can take, for example, Rwanda. Not everybody who got justice, but the government took steps to the right direction. We can talk about South Africa. Not everybody who got justice. Even in human nature, if you wrong me, if I wrong Douglas, or then I start making steps, like Professor have said, Kisumu, Naivasha, nobody is complaining because the wrongs that were done, people there began to make some steps toward the right direction, not cosmetic steps, not political steps, but honest social justice steps. That, yes, I've displaced you, sorry, come back, start building. You even helped me start building. That one is what we call the process of forgiveness, because you cannot claim to forgive me, yet you go ahead and repeat the same mistake that you did. So when you look at BBI, and I've said this 1,000 times, what I like about Raila as a politician or as a Kenyan is, wherever he is not happy with something, he does not fight back. He fights to make it better for the next person. Can we look back at what happened in 1980? He was not happy. Maybe we'd say because records have it that he was involved in the 1982 coup. We do not know. But after that, let's look at what he did for democracy in 1990. Because he went to jail. After coming out of the jail, he did not start threatening people who jailed him. He began seeking social justice through the law. So together with other Kenyans, they fought for democracy, for multi-party. 2002, what did he do? He stepped aside, he supported Kibaki, yes. Then after supporting Kibaki, he became, they formed a government. They went to 2007. 2007, when he felt that he had lost, to be the next president. He said, can we have a change of constitution that will guarantee the next person better, free and fair elections? He fought for that. He came 2013 and 2017. After 2017, he said, I don't want violence. What I want, can we amend this constitution to make it better for the future and posterity? So when Raila sits with Uhuru, he does not negotiate for me alone. He negotiates for the nation and for the well-being of the nation. It is a fact, and we cannot say no to that. When we look at the hardship between Raila and Uhuru, and Raila said it at Bomas of Kenya, he was so clear, and he said, mimi sikushikana na ndugu yangu Uhuru tugawane serikali. Serikali ni ya Uhuru na Ruto. Mimi tunataka Kenya tuendelee mbele. It was a statement that he said. And when you look at the changes that BBI is trying to propose today, they are not meant for Raila as a person. And when we look at what BBI is aiming to achieve, it is aiming to achieve a better country, a better nation. It cannot be the best. It cannot be the best, because what we learn in political science classes is laws are made for the current situation. So when we move ahead, 2030, and those will come after 50 years or 40 years, they will make laws that will favor them then. Today, we are looking at inclusivity as a major threat to nationhood. That's why when the DCI, when government, for the first time in history, Kenyan government has achieved a self-determination agenda that it can prosecute its own political violence cases. We have never seen that in the history of Kenya, that we can come out clean and say, we are not going to take people to ICC, we are not going to import a diplomat from South Africa and Tanzania and the rest of the world to come and talk to us, to come and do this for us. We are doing it ourselves as a nation. That government, the president, who was an ICC suspect, and he went to ICC, has the guts to come and say, if this case has someone complaining, I as a commander-in-chief, I give authority to police to investigate, and whoever is guilty should face the justice. So when we have gone that far as a country, how much do we want to see better than that? How much can we celebrate as a nation that we know we are getting to a first world nation where we do not have to seek external support or external help to our own case? That somebody will know. If we say who attacked who, but when we said the local DCI to go and investigate, that local DCI knows this country inside out. That DCI in Naivasha understands Naivasha better than a foreign investigator. So when they compile those investigations, to me, there's nothing as good as that. Because the moment we start doing it locally, everybody understands that the local wheel of justice is getting powerful. And the moment we stand for that, and I've said it, and I repeat it, as a country, it doesn't matter whether I'm in government today, it doesn't matter whether I'm in opposition today, it doesn't matter whether I'm rich, it doesn't matter whether I'm the suspect or the victim. Everybody deserves justice. And justice, like the DCI says, the constitutional role of the DCI is to protect and to prevent. So when the DCI is trying to prevent me and Professor fighting, why should I complain? When the DCI is trying to get justice for Professor and I'm not the suspect, why should I complain? That is the biggest question I'm asking. If you are not guilty, why are you complaining? And the next question I'll ask here is, 2013, the president and the deputy president had a case in ICC. It didn't stop Kenyans from voting. It didn't stop an election from going on. It didn't stop anyone from campaigning. It didn't stop anyone from vying. Why is it that 105 weeks to the next election, somebody thinks that the current investigation that are being done starting yesterday are aimed at stopping them from vying in 2022? So we are 105 weeks, not even 5 weeks to election. Number two, if that is the case, how comes, like Professor said, how comes Itumbi has gone to court to prosecute Dr. Fred Matiang'i, a sitting cabinet? So if we are talking about 2022, don't we think, can't we use the same theory that they are trying to use, that by taking Matsanga to court, you're disrupting the government. You're disrupting government. But nobody is talking about it. Including the CS, including the president, his boss. Everybody believes in the rule of law. How comes somebody wants to hijack a simple rule of law that I, as a victim, like Professor have said, complaining. Now, because this victim from Mombasa came to record a statement and was chased. This victim from Madare came to record a statement and was told to go home. This victim from Kibra came to record statement and was told to go home. This victim from Kakamega came here and was told to go home. But you're picking victims from Eldoret, from where? So can we ask ourselves, can the political class do as what we call the oversight role that they are voted in to do? Can they tell us that DCI has declined to take statement from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people? Why? That way now we can sit back and say that it is witch hunt. Lastly, DCI does not jail. DCI does not prosecute. DCI investigate. We have seen DCI arrest even terror suspects. They have been taken to court and the court have set them free. Others have been jailed. So after DCI has done the investigation, it is upon him take those files to DPP. DPP will determine whether there is a case or not. If the DPP says there is a case or not, he goes to court. He prosecutes the suspects. The suspects have what now we call innocent until
proven guilty.
The suspect will not be jailed directly. The suspect will have a right of defense. So if at all it is me, so it's if at all it's me versus Karanja, I'm not guilty until you, being the judge, says using the laws of Kenya, roll at cap this section, this, you are guilty or you are not guilty. Why are we hijacking that process? Why are we hijacking a constitutional process that is so easy, that's so good to go? After all, and finally, why don't we open this wood? Like Karanja said, or is it Douglas? Why don't we open this wood once and for all?
Yes.
Nipeleke kotini, let's case, I'm guilty, I'm sentenced. I'm innocent, never call me never call me a thief again, never call me a killer again, never call me a suspect again. You see, and like DCI said, he's not, the cases that went through the judicial process were determined, he's not interested. Because that person is either guilty or not guilty. So these ones that didn't go through and these ones that are new, why are we, why is it that a section of Kenyans don't want that to go through? Tomorrow, and I remember what the DP said in Bomas when we were launching the steering the BBI bill. He said that today we should, we might be in government, but tomorrow we might not be. It is the same thing here. Today we are in government, so tomorrow we might not be. Today we have Uhuru, Ruto and Raila. Tomorrow might be Rongo, Professor and Karanja, and we might not agree. And if history says that anytime we don't agree politically, we fight, what will happen? History will repeat itself. And the only way to change history is to close it. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Irungu Boko there. A couple of things, Javan, that Professor and also Mr. Irungu there has brought up. And you mentioned there earlier that our conversations for the sake of truly healing our nation.
Yeah, Miriam, time is right. Miriam, and as I was saying, there is no time limit that is there that justice will be sought in a particular time limit, or it has an expiry date. It doesn't. And Miriam, one thing that is quite clear. Now, we had the process, we had the violence, for example, in 2007, and the people suffered. Miriam, the people who suffered have not yet got justice. And Miriam, what we are saying now, when I was referring to a physical wound in someone's leg or hand, is that when you go to the doctor, he reopens the wound if it's not well healed. And this is a process that we have. After reopening the fresh and to make the fresh wound, Miriam, there will be no blame, Miriam, at the end of the day, because Miriam, when you go to a court of law and you are proven innocent, nobody will ever blame you on that matter. And for my sake, if I was a victim and realized that the person who I was accusing, I did it falsely, I will seek reconciliation. And from there, Miriam, peace will coexist. People start living in harmonious relationship. But if we keep on fearing, opening and going back there, we will not heal. We will go to 2022 and we'll start referring back to 207. We'll go to 2027. Let's heal completely. And Miriam, I feel like this is the right moment. Why? Because we have a kind of a conducive environment now. We have people when the William Ruto is in government, Uhuru Kenyatta is in government, Raila Odinga and the opposition are working with the government of the day. This is the time that we can heal this country without any kind of empty political rhetoric, Miriam. And I thank God that we have handshake. Because, Miriam, if this process was being undertaken without this handshake, Miriam, the kind of noise that could be happening in this country could be humongous and very bad in terms of our stability. And Miriam, those people were saying that people are doing this to deter the deputy president from vying as a president, Miriam. Miriam, everybody Kenyans who qualifies and meets the threshold to vie will go and will submit himself for the ballot. And the Kenyans will decide. And they should not feel like the deputy president. Why are they referring to deputy president? I didn't hear anywhere the DCI was mentioning an individual or a community. In fact, these people, and yesterday I wrote something on my Facebook and was saying that these people in Tanga are the one people who are causing and destroying the deputy president. Because, Miriam, when we have a corruption allegation, they are the one who makes that thing big. They are the one who speaks louder than everybody else. They say our man is being targeted, Miriam. Look at Miriam from other people from different political alignment. They are not speaking. They are just silent. They are the one who are pampering this thing. They are the one who are putting pressure on these post-violence cases as if they are the one who are guilty. Nobody is guilty, Miriam. This is a process. Nobody have been told that we are doing this because we want to do this and that for a specific individual. It's a process of all Kenyans. It is Kenyans who are giving the who are recording statements. And Miriam, for your information, this and cannot have said it clearly. He is not reopening closed cases. These are fresh threats, Miriam. You know, Miriam, when you threat somebody, it's not. It amounts to go to record a statement, Miriam, so that justice will be sought. And Miriam, if we healed completely from the 207 and especially in Rift Valley, why are leaders from Rift Valley are the one now who are trying to incite their tribesmen against what the DCI is doing? In fact, they should be celebrating that at the end of the day, justice will be delivered. And if anybody will be proven innocent, that will be a stepping stone even towards their seeking the presidential bid. But Miriam and the professor was saying this. We had cases in Naivasha, in Kibra, but now nobody is reporting fresh threats from Kibra. That is what we call healing. We want people from
Go ahead. All right, Karanja, thank you so much. So, Karanja, I'll come back to you, but I don't know if Besonga has already joined. Besonga, good morning. All right, so Douglas, a couple of things there that Mr. Irungu has brought up, and Professor, and in what Mr. Irungu said that I found to be very interesting, and that is factual, is that President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto, while they were running for their first term, they had this ICC case looming on their head, and that did not stop Kenyans from electing them. So why would the politicians ally to the deputy president, who, number one, the DCI did not mention that the DP had been mentioned during collecting this, evidence from the victims who went to record their statements, right? So the DCI did not say, DP, you've been mentioned here, so we'll need you in for questioning. None of that. No politician was mentioned there. But now coming out and they're saying this is a ploy by the government and a strategy to stop Deputy President from becoming the President of Kenya in 2022. Well, we know, even in their first time, while they had these ICC cases on their head, Kenyans went ahead and elected them anyway, and we know what happened there. And so, I don't know, what do you make of all this, Douglas? And why is it that just a section of politicians allied to the DP are coming out and they're just focusing on one case, while we know maybe even in that group of victims, there could have been victims from other parts of the country who were also affected in 2007 elections? And why is it that they are reducing, what these people went to tell the DCI? They're threatened. They're facing fresh threats over their lives where they are right now. So if a Kenyan is going to report to the office where they're supposed to go to report, as political leaders from those areas that perhaps these people are coming from, would it be prudent on their part to try and see and look into this matter and see what is really going on, over there, and see if at all some of these issues are actually happening, and see if they can help and be part of the peace process, and perhaps try to even speak to their own people there? Why will they come now and turn it and make it about them, while we have Kenyans who are saying, hey, I can't even sleep in my house in peace?
Miriam, let me just have this to say before I answer your question. Irungu was talking about the truth and reconciliation of South Africa and Rwanda. And let me tell you, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission here in Kenya you have had, that is not even the reconciliation you are trying to do. You cannot take propaganda and fitinas and then you start to say that is the truth and the truth and justice commission you are making. You must be able to speak the truth. When we speak the truth, we say that it happened. So do we die that it happened? Then we say, let us forgive and go on. But the truth must be told. People were removed from their homes. Yes. People were killed. We say, it is unfortunate it happened. Go home. And the way you were trying to say, you assist those people, they start life. You don't just give people, you evict people from their home, you burn their houses, you give them 300,000 Miriam, now that you have compensated them, and that is justice. That's not justice, Miriam. So the day we will start speaking the truth. See the rate, the old man, Petwer Kibragat, who was the chair. How do you antagonize him first before? Do you even accept that he becomes the chairman? He was over on the court, so that is not the thing you do, Miriam. And when people do this one, people just even become and say that you have what bigger land. It should be taken, Miriam. That's not the case. The day Kenyans, we will learn to speak the truth. We should remove politics. We should remove tribalism. We should remove ethnic. We should remove political differences, Miriam. Then we start talking about, and the PPI is almost addressing this, Miriam, national ethos. Miriam, if people can be assured, Miriam, they can go on with their life, that nobody will come. Miriam, how do you feel? You burn my house, you take my land, you burn people in the church, and then you have audacity to come and threaten people? And then some people come around, Miriam, and then they say that someone is being targeted. What kind of rubbish and nonsense that, Miriam? Mm-hmm. There are some things, Miriam, which annoys you. And sometimes, Miriam, people say that someone has lost his loved one. It may be a mom, a dad, a son, a wife, a husband. And then you have got no shame to go say, oh, I know how you are feeling. Do you know how you are feeling? Do you know that person what is undergoing? Even if you had undergone the same experience, it's not the same. So there are some things which you don't tell people. Mm-hmm. Here is a question: people who have been evicted from their home. The one who are talking about, Miriam, their mothers and their children, their wives, their husbands have not been killed. Their properties have not been destroyed. They have not been evicted from their home. How dare you tell people that you are bringing this kind of this? People are seeking justice, Miriam. And we will seek justice until we get it. And if we don't get it, Miriam, we will hand it over to the next generation. And we say justice was never done to us. No matter how wrong the generation goes, people will tell their children to their children, if that be as it may. So these politicians, they leave this nonsense of just coming around and is targeting somebody. Merely that you want for the president, no. Miriam, you remember the story of the Soromic wisdom about the two mothers. You decide to kill you sleep on your child in the night. And then the following day, you want the other child to be killed so that you become the same. We don't want this selfish kind of things, Miriam. I have said and I've given a recommendation, Miriam. If they do not allow Kinoti to do the investigation, Miriam, and you prosecute it in a competent court in Kenya, Miriam, I'm telling you the international court is coming on international law. People are here, they have complained and they are being threatened. They are willing to write the statements, Miriam. ICC lacked witnesses, Miriam. And the witnesses have come. Are you safe? And you want to tell us that no, someone will stop you? Going to a court, Miriam, what is being taken to court is evidence. And a competent judge, Miriam, will listen to both sides. You will be given an opportunity to defend yourself. Why do you want to become guilty even before you are charged? So, Miriam, on this, you know, Miriam, I'm a victim.
Yeah, you said 1992.
We can see our silence. We can laugh with you. You don't know how it feels, Miriam. I'm telling you, never should you go to start asking someone, how are your children? And you don't know in life, this person has never had children. So there are some questions, Miriam. There are some things you don't say. So, Miriam, we have gotten a PBI. It is here with us. We were given an opportunity, Miriam. We want to have national ethos, Miriam. We want this country to move forward. I love this country. I want things to be done the right way. I don't corrupt. I don't want this politicians. Miriam, politicians come and go. Those who kill others, you don't remember that you will be here in insanity, Miriam. You will be pursued. You sleep in the night, Miriam. You see ghosts, you see people chasing you. You are a nightmare. So what are these guys? You say, guys, it happened. It's unfortunate it happened. How do we move on? How people compensated? Let us go and help those people go back to their homes. Let us assist Miriam to start their own life. Perhaps they can see Miriam, it happened. Na shaitan is shaitan. So Miriam, right. Honest on this, the politicians,
they need to keep
and
on.
The way Chavan did.
Yes.
How I wish that the deputy president listened to me, that I would be giving him some advice.
Okay.
For free. He does not pay.
All right.
Some of it, the people follow him, they make matters worse for him. Hear this, Miriam. He is the deputy president of this country. And the president, Miriam. We saw them swearing in Kasaran in broad daylight, saying that they will defend the constitution of the Republic of Kenya. Here are Kenyans who have gone to exercise their constitutional rights because, Miriam, they want just to be done. See the kind of statement he's talking about. He said that were not even enough if we were in developed democracy, where rules and laws work. You couldn't sign. See drivers run up and down, up and down, up and down. What has he done? He has eaten a humble pie, Miriam.
But not really a humble pie.
Because laws and institutions works, Miriam.
Because he knows he cannot
I'm looking for
circumvent.
that day when institutions and laws in this country will allow the director for criminal investigation, Miriam,
to do his job.
get all the witnesses, they write all their nonsense. And Miriam, remember, we have got, with the gaps we have in our constitution, Miriam, we have got a progressive, modern progressive constitution in the world today. People, they don't know what the Kenyan constitution can do. The director for prosecution, Miriam, investigates Miriam. He gives to the director of public prosecution, Miriam. He looks at the evidence. He said this one can stand in the court or go and do this one. Even the one which Itumbi has gone to court, Miriam, he said that he wanted the director for prosecution to prosecute. He said there's no enough evidence. Go and investigate this and this and that. Imagine that's how we have got checks and balances. And then when the director for prosecution moves to court, Miriam, a judge will be there. Witness will be brought in court. They will say what they want to say. You will have an opportunity, Miriam, to defend yourself. Ask questions. We take to court not hearsay, we take evidence.
Okay, thank you.
So let not people fear that once someone has alleged that you are already guilty.
The process will have to take course. Thank you so much, Professor. One of our viewers here, Callistus Lumula, you're saying justice even to only one person is excellent. We all, and he's crying there, crying emoji, from what we know, we all are crying from what happened in Kiamba Church. I remember I really sobbed in my house when I saw those images. And I'm still traumatized, and I was not even directly affected like that. And we cried regardless of our tribes. If DCI can offer justice to even one victim, I'll be very happy. Though it is my prayer that justice shall be offered to everyone. Douglas, how do you respond to our viewers' comment?
Miriam, I think
Douglas.
Douglas is not around.
Oh, Douglas is not around. And is Daniel there?
But let me say this.
Okay.
Miriam, and justice, as our viewer is saying, justice at the end of the day, it does not matter how long it will take, but what matters is what time it will be delivered. Miriam, it might take 10 years or 20 years, but at the end of the day, the people who suffered in Kiamba and the other places in this country, justice will be delivered to them, and at that time they will heal and they will start even living in peace with the people who, the communities around them. And the one thing that Miriam and those people who support the deputy president are saying, even the deputy himself is saying that the government and the hustlers, through the hustlers narrative, Kenyans have seen that the problem is not the tribal incitement, but the underdevelopment and lack of employment, something like that. And Miriam, I would also like to know, is he not in the same government? This is a person who have been in politics of this country for more than 25 years, Miriam. And he is talking about bad leadership and so on. When he has been in the parliament, he has been a cabinet minister, he has been the deputy president for 8 years. Miriam, he should be telling us what he has achieved as in those capacities that has changed the livelihood of the people of Kenya, so that they cannot be used for political incitements. That is hypocritical, and I feel like as leaders, we need to shun away from these kind of languages of inciting Kenyans, Miriam. They are not done. They incited Kenyans along the class line. Now they are coming again, telling us now the problem is not the tribal ethnic. The problem is that you don't have money, and those so and so are the one who are making you suffer. Miriam, that kind of language itself amounts to incitement. Miriam, in future, we might not see people incited along the tribal lines. And as you saw in Keno, people there were not incited along tribes. They were incited along classes, because Miriam, in Keno, that are people from the same community, but they were fighting because of hustlers and that narrative. Therefore, Miriam, in future, we must also, apart from the tribal incitement, we must also look to this class incitement of hustlerism, because it's also making Kenya divide themselves along that class line. And at the end of the day, people might start fighting in inter-community or inter-clan fights because of that kind of a narrative. And Miriam, as I conclude, the DCI should not relent. He should continue doing his work. The noise will come, but that will not stop him from carrying out pushing the wheels of justice, Miriam. Because at the end of the day, Miriam, you cannot do just injustice and then you try to repeat, and you show willingness to repeat the same mistake that you did in future. That is to show you are not remorseful, you have not reconciled, you are not in peace with yourself and in the communities around you. We need leaders to be in peace with themselves and to understand that this country is bigger than all of us. We'll be there and other generations will come. There's no need to destroy this country for the sake of one person's ambitions, because Miriam, when you do that, at the end of the day, you might not even be the president and you have destroyed the country. What will you do?
All right.
Therefore, as we go on, Kenyans should also refrain from being used for political tribal, and class struggles that will cause no good but harmful and the destruction of property and loss of lives.
Very well. Very wise words coming there from my young Kenyan there, Jevan Karanja from Nanyuki. Thank you so much, Jevan. So, of course, we cannot complete our show without talking about BBI. And we know today President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga will be leading the process to start collecting the signature. So let me just read a bit of that. All the Daily Nation front pages there, just on the side. Deputy President William Ruto is walking a tightrope as President Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga today oversee a crucial referendum step that effectively rules out amendments to the Building Bridges Initiative report. President Kenyatta and Mr. Odinga will launch the campaign to collect the requisite 1 million signatures of registered voters to back the draft constitutional amendment bill and propel it to county assemblies for consideration. Mr. Irungu Goko, I don't know, what options do our deputy president have? And since he has come out and stated that clearly he's not willing to lead the No Brigade, and we know that there's no amendments that have been done in the BBI report, and that means whatever he wanted changed to suit his comfort has not been met. So that means he will not be, I'm assuming he'll not be supporting the BBI. So do you think he'll be joining the BBI team, or do you think he will go ahead and lead the No campaign, which he's not been very keen on doing? So, I mean, where this tightrope he seems to be walking right now, what options are left for him?
Okay, thank you. Let me say, let's start with the genesis of the BBI. I was in the task force secretariat. We moved all over this country, correcting views. They were open. Everybody was invited. They gave their views openly and willingly. It was not selective. Neither was it a political process. In fact, in most of the forums, after the politicians gave their views, the chair or the vice would request them to leave so that Wananchi can give their views openly, now without fear of anything. So it was begun. What has Ruto and his team been saying? They have been calling it Beba Baba Ikuru, Burning Bridges Initiative. So all those words, until now, unless otherwise, he still does not support the process. But the BBI process is a state affair. It's not an individual affair. It is a state affair. So him as a person, he has decided to have a contrary opinion. What can I say? He made a political mistake. He jumped ahead of time. He started a campaign for 2022 in 2018. He has made it an atmosphere around him. So the only thing that can reign in his mind, you see, nature and science are sisters. So by nature, if you create an atmosphere around you, you expect the only thing that will reign. Because if you create a crowded atmosphere, the next thing is rain. If you create a windy atmosphere, the next thing will be a storm. A wind storm. If you create a sunny atmosphere around you, then you definitely expect it. You cannot expect the contrary of what you've created. So Ruto created an anti-hardship atmosphere around him. All the rallies he has attended, all the church services he has attended, all the public engagement forums he has attended, all the youth empowerment and citizen, as he called them, he has attended. His statement and those of his people have been one: fight BBI the best way you can. So that is the atmosphere around him. So he has no option. Even if he doesn't talk, even if he doesn't oppose it on the microphone, even if he doesn't oppose it on anything, it is already clear that he does not support it. Unless he come out clean and say, I've made a U-turn, I want to support BBI, which according to him and the atmosphere he has for 2022 will weaken his chances. So everything everything around him, his advisors, his consultants, and his team is 2022. And anything that weakens that chances, anything that seems or perceives, whether real fallacious or just speculation, everything, anything, big or small, ghost or real, that seems to weaken his chances becomes a no. It doesn't matter who are the beneficiaries, as long as he is not a beneficiary. So I don't know what he will do. I don't know what he will say. Whether he doesn't support it, whether he supports it, as at now, the atmosphere around him is a BBI no leader.
And Mr. Irungu,
is a BBI no leader, yeah.
Why do you think he was calling for a consensus? Others have said he was looking for a soft landing because that will not make him now go and be an outright no campaigner. And so that has been thwarted. So why do you think he wanted for consensus?
Yes, him calling for consensus is purposely because he feels the BBI process is weakening his 2022 chances. Because voters, and Prof can tell you here, voters or citizens, they move with the motion of the day. They move with the wind of the day. So he has realized if this move comes in without him on board, all the gains he thinks he has made for 2022 will be watered down. If he joins the movement today, he becomes a third party. I've seen the program of the day. It's the former Prime Minister and the President on the mic. So if he comes in, he becomes a third party because he was not there in the process. And that's why we say, do not outshine your master. Number two, when you get executive power as a deputy president, relinquish the political power as a deputy party leader for Jubilee. He decided the political power should supersede the state power that he has. So when you contradict law, what do you expect? Right now, he wants to recorrect it, but in his own terms. You cannot recollect laws in your own terms. And that's why even the DCI case, everything around him is about me, I, and myself. Me, I, and myself. Me, I, and myself. DCI is investigating this because of me, I, and myself. BBI is a project to fight me, I, and myself. Everything is me, I, and myself. Even if it rains in January, it is raining because I had a forum and I didn't have tents. So it cannot be me, I, and myself. And the moment, as long as he is for me and myself, even if those consensus are made, even if I've seen the proposed amendments and all that, I'm waiting for them to be made official by His Excellency, then I can comment on them. Even if those ones are included, he'll still wake up and say, they are not good enough.
And also, before I let you go, because we're making our final submissions there, you mentioned something interesting there, do not outshine your master. And we saw the kind of speech he made during the second launch of the BBI at the Bomas a couple of weeks ago. And today you're saying from the program you've seen, they've not set a seat for him.
Now the program I've seen is very short because of the BBI and the rest.
Yes.
The program is very short. It is the presentation. Then after the presentation, a few leaders talk, citizens talk. Then the Prime Minister signs the BBI form. The President signs. Then the Prime Minister invites the President to speak, and the President launches the booklets. It's that simple. So, if he has been as part of the state program. And like we say, within, even in a marriage, if you are married and you leave, the issue that made you leave may not be resolved unless otherwise. But if you are from within and you are showing interest, human beings can be there. The president in the BBI, in the Bomas 2, the BBI in the Bomas 2 launch, he said that when the process began, he gave him 3 slots. So it means the president wanted him to be part of the process. So it's not speculation, but he decided otherwise. So this nation, and I repeat, and the president said that there will be first, second, third, fifth, 10th president, and the nation will remain. When you become a national leader, you think for the nation, because it's the nation that will feed you. But if you think for yourself, wanting to feed the nation, you'll start creating narratives, you'll start creating ideologies, you'll start creating theories that have no test of time, that has no nothing. That's why to him and his team, they're thinking election is 2 weeks ahead. You know, they are thinking everything is just next door. You know, I saw one of the MP in Western, I can't remember his name, you know, saying that he's even the CS Interior. And he was trying to demonstrate how he'd give orders to go and arrest Matiang'i.
Dismas Barasa.
Yeah, Dismas Barasa.
It had to be.
So you can imagine the kind of atmospheric ideologies they are living in. I've asked one of them right now, I was offline. I've asked one of them to explain to me how the DCI investigation in law and in the constitution is stopping the deputy president from vying. He cannot. He's just saying, where would you? We cannot live in speculation. This nation is bigger than me.
All right.
It's bigger than anyone else.
All right.
Yes, and as we close, I've heard Karanja has a lot of chickens in the background.
Yes.
So I think I should ask him to send some our way.
No, we learned, Mr.
Irungu. Enjoy as we.
We learned the other day that our deputy president has so many chicken and eggs, and apparently me and Professor have been enjoying some of those eggs, which is a good thing. So if you want more, I don't know if Karanja will have enough. For Karanja from Hanyuki, they are local kienyeji. Oh,
so we
good.
don't want the broilers. The local kienyeji
are very good.
They might be very yummy. Then after, when you come to studio, you can enjoy a meal together.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Irungu. All right, Karanja, give us your final thoughts, and then Professor will close it for us.
Yeah, thank you, Miriam. And I agree with what Irungu have said. And Miriam, you saw, and what the deputy president did, he painted the document in bad faith. He thought that at the end of the day, because after the validation process was started, these people were quite anxious that when will this document come? And they started saying that, this document is not good, it's not that. And you see they have even delayed the document, meaning it was not even, it's not in their hearts. And they failed to understand that some process might take time because these are Kenyans who are giving process. This was a Kenyan process and Kenyans were giving their views. And Miriam, to their surprise, that when document came out, they started calling for consensus. Miriam, you cannot call for consensus when you have not even presented your proposals. You cannot call for consensus on someone else's proposals. You know, it could be better if they were saying that this is what I presented, but it was not captured. Miriam, that could even be making a lot of sense. But they are saying, let's have a consensus. But when we are having this consensus, they are setting the mood and the terms and conditions on how the consensus should be held. They are saying that we only have a consensus if you change 1 or 2, 3 things. Miriam, that is not how we have a consensus. A consensus is made from a neutral kind of standing where you come and you agreed, both sides agree on something else. But the side of the deputy president, they are saying, unless you change the judiciary and unless you change the way IBC commissioners are appointed, that is the only time you'll have a consensus. Miriam, if they felt that idea was good enough, they could have presented it into the steering committee so that it can be incorporated in the document, but they failed to do that. Therefore, Miriam, I feel like the deputy president was so over-ambitious, and he felt like this document and this process will curtail his presidential succession to 2022. But that one was not the case, because this was about bringing all Kenyans on board. And Miriam, as you can see, Kenyans give their proposals, and this document has already kick-started. Miriam, today the signatures will be launched. And for the deputy president, he has no alternative. He has reached to a point in politics where he cannot go for his movement, and the way to locomote into the political arena is becoming unconducive, the terrain is not leveled, and this is because of his own creating. Therefore, he has himself to blame, because Miriam sometimes silence space. And if he was silenced when all these things were going on, he could be having a very good moment, because he can either support or oppose. But now he posts the document, and now there's no consensus, there's no what. I think he will go for a no campaign. And if he does go for and this is where his fears are. Because if we oppose this document directly, and this is a state-sponsored kind of as a state-sponsored process, then we'll have to have a very hard times heading to 2022, Miriam, because he might also be heading to an impeachment or kind of so. Because Miriam, when you don't support and you don't agree with the process of the government that you are serving, Miriam, then you are not even fit to be in the same government. I think now he has this kind of, he jumped before the drums, and I like what Gideon Moy told him sometimes back. You jumped before the drums or before the drums, and when the drums will be on, other men will come in forward energetic, and they will not be exhausted, because now he is already exhausted. Energetic men will come in the field, and you'll have a very hard times even fighting those men will come on the ballot.
All right.
Miriam, that is my take. And the BBI is a good document, it's a healing process, because Kenyans are in it. Those are Kenyans' proposals, and nobody should think that they have superior proposals than others.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. So you're saying Deputy President started jumping before the drums or started beating there. So he's been dancing too much. Now you think he's tired. Professor, is our Deputy President politically stranded right now?
Let me just say what Chairman said, that Gideon was saying that umeanza kurumba when we are just tuning the guitar. When the rhythm will now begin, sasa utakuwa umetoka.
Would you say he's stranded right now, politically stranded?
Miriam, you know what I do? I teach behavioral science, and I can look at you. I can know you are happy or you are not happy.
Okay.
Can look at you, and I will almost read your mood. Look at your eyes. Look at your smile. Look at the way you smell. Look the way when I talk, whether you are saying, it tells me there's something disturbing you or something to do. So be it as it may, what I want to say, when I look at the Deputy President, he has never been for BPI. When I look at the Deputy President, is not the person who believes in the reform. PBI talk is about reform, Miriam. It's not a reformer. You know, there are some of the things, Miriam, which we read too much. He's not a reformer. He does not believe in taking the country forward. He does not believe in the country should get something. He believes that what the country asks us to be taken away. He does not believe in fighting corruption. He does not believe in fighting corruption. When we fight in corruption, he says he's being targeted. He has never liked the director for criminal investigation who investigates crimes in this country, Miriam. And you are a deputy president in that country. So, Miriam, our country is a democracy. A sincere democracy. And even, Miriam, I don't want even much for any action to be taken, Miriam. It is his democratic right to oppose BBI. I have been on record saying that BBI, if no takes the day, Miriam, Kenya will remain. Miriam, do you know what no means? The meaning of no? No is next opportunity. It does not mean that when you come to me, I tell you yes, no. I can as well as tell you no. Miriam, there's this day someone comes to you and say, Miriam, can you give me some money? And you say, okay, call me some other time. I will be able to do something. Then this person goes and waits for that time, and Miriam, by the time he calls you back, your phone is off. But if you could have said, Miriam, no, have gone elsewhere, saved this time, and gotten help. So that the fact that we will have Kenyans saying no, it means they're going to say, not this time, but we will have next opportunity to look at our constitution. That is what the no of 2005 gave us, because it gave us an opportunity to have the new constitution of 2010. So that's not the deputy president and his supporters pure overworked. If they don't believe in a document, mobilize Kenyans in large numbers and thrust that document down. But where we have reached, Miriam, I don't want my deputy president to be like my grandmom. I grew with the grandparents. And my grandmom will tell me stories. And I will go to sleep. When I wake up, Miriam, I will find my grandmom going on with the stories. I don't know whether you enjoy those kind of privileges, which I did. So what I'm trying to say, we don't have BBI, Miriam, people go to sleep and then they wake up and they find we are going on and on. We must reach into a conclusion. And I'm happy, by coincidence, what we discuss here, whether the president listens and the prime minister or they don't. But I'm happy that they have taken the correct route. Let the signatures be corrected, Miriam. Mm-hmm. The people to decide what we'll do with the 2010 Constitution and the BBI, Miriam, are the people of the Republic of Kenya, because we are a democracy, Miriam. There's nobody who is going to force this BBI down the throats of Kenyans. That is how democratic we are, Miriam. So let us not be reading too much. He has never supported Miriam, the BBI. He has never supported the handshake, Miriam. It is like this child, Miriam, who has acted like a husband for many years. And another one comes, Miriam. Do you know what happens? If you are not very careful, you will go and suffocate this new one who has come. Mm-hmm. This is exactly what our deputy president is looking at. He is seeing the handshake as coming to suffocate him, because he was almost getting there. But I always tell people, Miriam, when you are the deputy president of a country, you are very far from the throne, very far from the throne. You have to take somebody. Joe Biden has to wait for one more term before he tried, and he has made it. We have people who have tried for the president of this country. The Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga is on the queue. We have got Kalonzo Musyoka, was the deputy president of this country, is on the queue. We have got Musalia Mudavadi, was a vice president of this country, is on the queue. So there is no entitlement. The deputy president that is the one who is entitled for the presidency of this country. So let him just keep away. Not even to be near around KICC where the signatures are being corrected. It should not even be near there. It should be very, very many miles away from there.
Like in a professor.
See the kind of confusion
hashtag inclusivity.
He caused in Bomas, where he went, where he believed in that process. See the kind of confusion and the seeds of discontent Miriam he planted, Miriam. Mm-hmm. So let us proceed with the signatures. I wish I could have been around. I could also put one, because I believe that this document is going to take Kenya into another level. Mm-hmm. I believe in the struggle. The struggle never ends. We will let us capture what the good things, and we'll start asking for those good things we are imagining the likes of the deputy president and others are having. I submit.
Thank you so much, Professor. Well, you're saying he should stay very far. Well, today they've kept him really far from what Irungu is saying. Hana kiti uko leo. So I don't know. Thank you so much. So what we might see trending today is BBI is supposed to be inclusive, all right? Okay, Douglas Kirimi from Meru, thank you so much. We are also joined by, Kirimi left earlier from Meru, thank you, and Jevan Karanja from Nanyuki, thank you. Thank you, Professor Nyari, and indeed, thank you for our guest panelist today, Irungu Goko. Thank you so much, sir, and hopefully you shall be coming in here quite often, because now you have the information that we need. As you said that you're part of the task force during the collection of views from Kenyans, and during that time you're working, you never saw any of these people coming and giving their views there. So that's good to note. At least we have a witness there who can confirm that for us. Thank you so much. This has been Good Morning Africa. Of course, shortly we shall be airing the live event from the KICC where President Uhuru Kenyatta and opposition leader Raila Odinga will be launching the official start of collection of the 1 million signatures. They're even more ambitious. They're going for 4 million. So let's see how that will work out for them. So we shall be airing that live. So we will not have our usual 11 a.m. show because that is what we shall be airing. My name is Miriam Ogutu. Thank you so much for watching. We shall see you later.